Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and today I'm joined by Angel.
Hello.
It's been a little bit, but we're back for more Guiding Light. We did a week, the first week of April 1995. So that would be episodes that aired from April 3rd to April 7th, 1995. So I'll roll the credits and we'll get right into it. So I watched all of these, but April 3rd's episode we watched already. So I don't know if that was misstated or an episode didn't.
Yeah, we did watch it already. I was just like, wait, I remember the balloons. All right, let me go to the next episode.
I watched it again because I needed the refresher, but I'm like, no. I was like, we did this. At first, I thought they were just replaying. I was like, wow, they really went deep into the last episode and are replaying everything that happened. Like the whole pool party thing. I was like, no, we saw this. I know Lucy got arrested, and I just kept watching it.
Lucy got arrested. The Rick came back.
Right, and I was like, no, Rick came back. I'm like, what? And I like checked to make sure I was watching the right episode, and I don't know. It was dated, I guess, or maybe an episode didn't air. I don't know. But yeah, so that was a repeat. And then Tuesday, the 4th, the episode for me, I don't know about for you, the picture went out midway.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have the patience to just listen to it, so I just went to the next episode.
Luckily, I was listening at work, so I remember some things, but I don't remember all the things. Like the next episode kind of pieces it together for me.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, instead of going episode by episode, I guess we should just go like we usually do, just story by story.
Mm-hmm.
Which one should we get out of the way? I guess we should. No, we'll leave Lucy for last. I guess we could do Fletcher, Holly, Roger. That's because that was seen the least, I guess. Fletcher comes back after like flying all over the world, actually.
All over the world.
Because Bill's biological mother, he was told Bill's biological mother wanted to sue for full custody or take him.
I thought it was the biological grandmother.
Oh, it was the grandmother. Okay.
Yeah.
So he went to like Portugal, New York. I think he said back to Portugal.
Back to Portugal and Paris and France and Milan.
And I'm like, were you even gone long enough for you to be able to fly all those places?
I know we were, but I don't know if he was.
But it turns out it wasn't true, and he immediately suspects Roger has something to do with
it. I'm glad he suspected that quickly.
And Nick is just like, no. And he's like, yeah. So I don't really know. So who was the guy that Roger was talking to? Was that just like one like his assistant or secretary?
I'm guessing because I don't know.
So I don't really know what his plan is, but he seems to think that however Fletcher is going to react to this is going to drive Holly back into his arms. And Holly has kind of just given up because she knows that Roger's never going to give up on her. And she goes to Fletcher and she's basically like, I care about you and I know you care about me, but I can't put you through the torture of what Roger's going to put you through. She's like, he loves me. He's never going to let me go. And she says that she's going to try being single for a little bit. I guess she kind of hops from relationship to relationship. She's never really been single.
Yeah, I think that's what happened with her.
I was waiting for Fletcher to say something like, I don't care, like, I'll fight Roger tooth and nail or whatever, but he didn't. He just kind of let her go. But it was on good terms. Because he kind of was, what did he say? Did he say she was like one of a kind or you're a hell of a lady or something like that? Yeah. I still think she looks great if she's supposed to be Blake's mother.
Yeah, she's fabulous.
Yeah.
So fabulous.
Oh, and speaking of Blake, this is another thing that triggered me when I was watching the first episode before I caught on. I'm like, wait, we saw Dinah under the bed while Blake and Ross were like making love. And she managed to get out of there. She just crawled out on her hands and knees. And then there's a phone call, and Blake answers, and Dinah kind of tells her, "I got it." And I didn't hear a click or anything, so I would be like, "Can you hang up?"
Mm-hmm.
But Blake listens, and she hears a guy asking for money. It's not Roger, right?
No, it's not Roger.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think this is Roger, because she's gotten 2 mysterious voicemails. It's either Roger or this other guy she owes money to.
Mm-hmm.
So then she, when Ross is asleep, decides to go down into the basement where she has the whole phone tap recording set up. And last we left off, that's where Ross found her.
Mm-hmm.
She was just kind of like caught. We got to see Frank and Eleni.
Mm-hmm.
They were just kind of working at the diner. Buzz is freaking out because the daughters of the American Revolution might pull out of this like charity event for the
Mm-hmm.
fifth grade. And I'm not sure why. Is it because they don't have a venue for it?
I don't know. I tried catching that, but I don't know the reason.
I think that was a partial episode, and we kind of came in the middle of Alexander and him fighting about it. And at first, I was like, "It's all gonna come together. This is just normal like event running anxiety." But these 2 women actually pulled out. They're like, "Sorry, we have to pull our support."
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. Did that resolve at all? Like, because I feel like they were set. Nadine was like handing out invitations.
I'm guessing it did, because or else Nadine wouldn't have attempted to hand out an invitation. Now remember, it's attempted because she always ran into people because like freaking Nick and Mindy were getting divorced, and then she comes in right after that.
Does Mindy work at the police station?
I don't know. I know that she works at I guess it'll be Lewis Oil.
Yeah, because we saw her working with Vanessa previously.
Yeah, remember, I think she's teaching Cutter how to use his computer.
That's why I asked if she was working at the police station, because she was at the police station telling him he needs to learn how to use the command codes. And I'm like, what is happening? She's dating him, right? Or there's like a potential for them to date?
It's a potential. I don't know if they are dating.
Oh, maybe they're chem testing them?
Yeah, I think that's what's happening.
Do we know what's wrong with Eve? They mentioned something about test results, and I think her spleen. Yet. Something about her spleen.
Yeah, not we don't know this yet. And it wasn't revealed during the episode that turned pink. So
and what's Rick?
Rick is Ed's son and Michelle's brother.
Okay, so Ed then wants Rick to look at the test results, and he's like, it's a conflict of interest. You're not really supposed to diagnose or give an opinion when we're this close. He's like, you always told me that. I'm like, I just felt like that's the law. Like, it doesn't matter what he told you. But you can't put real life logic.
Nah.
So, we didn't see. Did we see Lillian? We didn't see anything about her breasts.
We didn't see anything about Lillian and her.
We saw a little bit of Josh and Reva. He came to the hospital.
Josh and Annie.
Oh, I said Reva. Josh and
Annie. Yeah, I can't wait for her to come.
This whole week, I was like, oh, I wonder if the ghost is going to come this week. The ghost of Reva. Yeah, so we saw them at the hospital. He showed up in like an exterminator outfit because she had a mouse last time we saw her. Or a rat. I'm not really sure which one it was. But she says she's working and maybe they'll get together that night. And then somehow they ended up at her grandparents or her grandmother's, and she was like mad at him for being there.
So this is what I remember from the episode that turned pink. Okay. She was talking to her grandmother. She was saying, and it's basically explained once the episode comes back. or once the next episode happens, she basically is like talking about Josh, talking about her life in Springfield, that sort of thing. But yeah, she was going over to her grandmother's house, and that's why she had to break off like any plans with Josh that day.
I didn't understand why Annie was mad. Did she feel like he was invading her privacy?
So he literally, from what I understand, because she did say he basically followed her there. He basically followed her there, even though she was like, no, I don't want anybody, I don't want you to come. Mm-hmm. But she didn't, I don't even think she mentioned that she was going to her grandmother's house. I think she mentioned that she had plans.
Mm-hmm.
But then he followed her, and that was what kind of, he did it without her saying, like, yeah, it's okay for you to come.
So initially, because we didn't see the grandmother at first, I thought he listened in on a phone conversation, but it must have been an in-person conversation.
It was in person.
Where he heard her say, the grandmother say, I'm glad that you like found somebody. I don't want you to get hurt like you've been in the past. And so Josh is questioning like what happened to you in the past, and she doesn't want to talk about it.
When those commercials came on, there were some jingles I remembered. And then I was like going to the printer at work, because I was listening to it at work. I was going to the printer at work, and I was kind of jamming to like the moms like you choose. And nobody saw me, so
you're kind of watching Guiding Light like old school, like the radio days. You're just like listening to it.
Well, I have it propped up on my and sorry if you're watching this, boss. I don't know, but she doesn't know I have a podcast. I have a prop, but she knows because she's coming and seeing me like doing my work and watching Guiding Light. So I have it propped up on my desk, and then I'm doing my work, and I'm kind of like looking every once in a while, seeing. But I understand like what's going on and everything like that.
Right. I do that sometimes if I'm like commuting. I'll just be listening. And then when the music prompts something dramatic, I'll look down. So you had texted me. We got our David recast, which came out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. I didn't even know.
I was like, oh, okay, bye, I guess.
Yeah, so he last aired March 21st. So I looked it up. Monty Sharp last aired March 21st. And then it said April 5th or April 6th was when. See, I got confused because they mentioned they announced it twice, and I forgot which episodes they announced it on.
They did announce it twice. It was probably Thursday and Friday, so it was probably the 6th and the 7th.
Okay.
I laughed when they announced it twice because I thought about you because you mentioned that like that.
But they only announced it once, but then like they announced it when they announced it the second time. I was like, oh, he's probably doing something, and he's like, he's not doing anything. He's not even speaking. He's barely. But the actor's name is Russell Curry. Going into your Sunset Beach podcast, you will get Russell Curry. He is Dr. Titus Robinson.
I know him. I know who Titus is. Oh my god.
Yes. One of my favorite characters on the show. I don't even know why. I just like him.
Oh my god. Wow, I didn't realize that was him.
Yep. He only lasts for about a year or so.
But he's on towards the end, isn't he?
No, I'm talking about on Guiding Light.
Oh, okay.
He only lasts on this show for about a year. So actually, exactly a year. April to April. Yeah, April 95, April 96.
So Blake somehow got Dinah's credit cards. And there's a machine that people can have to run credit cards to see if they're valid. I didn't know these existed. Decline. Call the police.
Call the police.
I died when she said that. If I had been drinking my coffee, I would have spit it out probably. But I liked when Blake saw that Dinah was actually upset, that she was just kind of like, all right, I'm going to drop this feud and we're going to fix this. And she's like, I'm taking you to your father. Like she dropped whatever was between them and was like, I'm going to help you. Let's go. Mm-hmm. But then in true Dinah form, from what I know so far anyway, the minute she sees Ross, she's like, the waterworks and Daddy, I need your help. And Blake's just like, really?
Blake's like, oh God.
I liked when Ross was like, well, how much is it? Like $10,000? And she's like, and he's like 20. And he kept going up 10. And he was like 30. And she's like, more like 50. And he's like, well, clearly I can't help you with that.
Clearly I can't help you with that.
He's like, I'll go to Mom. Mom's rich. She'll help me. So I guess to rewinding a little bit back to the pool party, we saw Vanessa jealous, I guess, that Matt was hanging out with younger people and maybe feeling insecure that he might want to be with somebody younger. But he manages to get her in the pool, and he leaves her.
Yeah.
And she gets caught by one of the members. And she tries to make a joke out of it, like, why don't you join me? But you can see she's embarrassed.
I remember that.
But they seem to work it out because somewhere in between the half episodes and the pink screen, they're kissing again. So they worked it out.
Yeah.
I feel like this is just going to be like a constant regurgitated issue, the age difference and what people think.
Yeah.
He mentioned to her before she got in the pool, he's like, you got all weird when HP mentioned that I should marry you. Lucy and Brett are hanging out. Started with the pool party. She's getting a little more comfortable, I guess. Trying to have fun with him. They get arrested. Brett has a mouth. He keeps mouthing off to the police officer. And Alan Michael bails them out. I think he just wanted to bail Lucy out, though. He wasn't really. But, and also I was like, they wouldn't put a guy and a girl in the same cell. They would separate them.
No, they would separate them.
Yeah.
But soap opera logic, we have to put them together.
Right. So they barely even spend the night because the cop that's letting him out is like, oh, you get out before breakfast. And I guess Alan Michael's jealousy over her and Brett dating has caused him to realize that he actually cares about her and wants to tell her. But she's continuing to see Brett, and she tells Bridget that she is ready to have sex because we know that Lucy is a virgin. And Alan Michael is like going all around town trying to find Lucy. And I think it was Bridget that told her that she's going to be out late tonight and kind of implied because doing that. Her and Brett go back to his loft, I guess, apartment, because he has a nice view of the city. She's impressed.
Condominium, let's call it that.
She's impressed that he owns it, and he says that if she keeps up the good work, she'll own something like that of her own one day.
But I thought executive assistants made a lot of money.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not in the 90s.
Maybe not in this case. Maybe not for Spalding.
He starts to make her a drink, and I guess she doesn't really drink, so she's like, none for me. And he's like, oh, I'll make it mostly juice. So he's trying to loosen her up. They start to get hot and heavy, and I guess he starts to get rough with her, and she changes her mind, and he's not.
Yeah, she basically revokes the consent.
Yeah, and he's not taking the no for an answer. And we kind of see Alan Michael trying to call her at her place. He leaves her a voicemail to call him no matter how late it is. And I was like, no, go to the apartment. I just wanted him to go to Brett's and like interrupt it.
Yeah, I want to punch the shit out of him.
I'm like, stop standing there, do something. But he doesn't know that something's happening. And yeah, it looks like she's being raped because that's how it ends with her screaming. And I think now that I've seen it, I think I read that she is. And it just really turns my stomach.
Yeah, it's gross. And then just to go back a little bit with with when Bridget and Lucy were talking, Brett overhears this.
Oh, so he thinks that she's like ready.
Yeah, he has the flowers, puts them on like, I guess wherever they were, the doorway of the room. So, and then they go to the carnival and.
Oh, that's right. They were at a carnival.
Yeah.
Because she was like throwing darts, right? To win.
Throwing darts. Yep.
I guess was that the fundraiser, maybe?
I don't think so. I think that was just a random carnival.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe they went to the fundraiser.
No, I think the fundraiser would be something like at top of the towers or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, they want it
like,
to be open to everybody, so I don't know.
Yeah. You're right. So
maybe that'll be a May sweep story.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because it's only 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
So I feel like Brett went bad really fast.
there were
extenuating
clues.
circumstances.
There were clues.
There were
clues. Yeah, there were clues. So remember when he and Alan, this was a while ago, when he and Alan Michael were talking about Lucy, about him catching Lucy, Alan Michael catching Lucy and him in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that Brett kind of blamed it on Lucy rather than it being both of them going into the closet.
Uh-huh.
That was my first inkling of that. Also, I already know the trajectory of Brett as a character. Yeah. It goes very insane. I think you already know this.
Yeah, I read.
Yeah, so that's what made me like perk my ears up a little bit to what he actually was saying.
So you're looking,
how he says it and like how he acts around Alan Michael, and
you're more aware of the foreshadowing. Because
I'm more aware of it.
You're like, oh, that's what they were doing.
It's like, oh, I see what's happening. I see he's supposed to be a jerk and a creep and a rapist. Now he's a rapist. So
yeah, I like. Does he go? Well, you can't really answer it because that would be spoiler.
I don't want to say anything.
I just don't know like what happens because I know he like gets recasted. He goes away. He comes back.
Well, temp recast.
Temp recast, yeah.
Yeah, it's a temp recast, not a full recast like David, but.
I mean, and Lucy knows who attacked her. It's not like it was like a stranger in the dark in the street. So it's like, I don't know where you go with this story, except I can speculate because he does like a whole, like he dresses like a woman in disguise, that he pretends to be somebody else, a woman, and works
at Spalding and
at Spalding. This is going to be very interesting because I've only heard about it. I've never actually seen it.
I think it lasts until like 90. I want to say the end of 96. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's when the character of Brett is like off the show. I think that's like the end of 96, like towards the end of 96. So.
Oh, I thought I read January 96.
Oh, never mind then. Then you're right. Maybe I'm thinking of Lucy because I know Lucy's on there for a while.
Maybe because then doesn't she go to One Life to Live?
Yeah, she goes to One Life to Live, and then they recast Alan Michael, but he doesn't last that long because he goes on Port Charles. So,
who was he?
He's the first Joe. So, Michael Dietz.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah, I like him too. He was on 90210, I think.
Was he?
I think it was like one of the boyfriends of Brenda, which, by the way, I didn't want to say this on the Guiding Light podcast, but R.I.P. Shannon Doherty.
Yeah, we just found out before we started recording that Shannon Doherty passed away. Really sad. The second Joe, the one that left Gabby before Tainted Love, was on 90210.
But I thought Michael Dietz was on.
He may have been. I feel like in the 90s.
Maybe he was on Melrose Place. I know he was on one of the spelling shows.
I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, we'll have to look into it.
But yeah, so that was the cliffhanger. Was Lucy getting attacked? Really upset about that. Did I forget anything you wanted to mention?
Oh, there was a whole conversation with Dinah and Vanessa about her getting a job.
Sorry, I didn't mute myself because the lovely motorcycle had to drive by.
Yeah, the motorcycle.
He did it last night too. I was like, it doesn't matter what time of the day.
Doesn't matter.
He knows I'm podcasting. I hate you. Right. So did Vanessa say she was gonna allow her to have $25,000 a year?
Oh, that I don't remember. And I was rewinding back to that scene a lot because
I heard her say 25,000, and what my takeaway from it was she has a trust fund and she's only going to allow her to take 25,000 a year out of it, so she has to live off of. So she's going to have to get another job or a job to kind of supplement, so she'll have more money. And Dinah's not happy about that because she's like, I have no skills. She's like, how far am I going to get on a minimum wage job? But I feel like she relents and says that she's going to give it a shot. But it's Diana, so she could be lying just to like get whatever money she can. But we did see a shadowy figure.
Yeah, I was going to mention the shadowy figure. We saw the shadowy figure a few times.
Yes. I'm guessing this is the guy that's been calling her, wanting money.
Yeah.
She owes him. I want to know why she owes him this money. Like, did she just think it was a party and she just kept borrowing money, and now she's like, kind of like her credit cards. She's just in too deep.
Yeah.
I still don't know who she's gonna marry. Anytime she's in a scene with somebody, I'm like, is it him?
And then back when she was talking with Vanessa, she was like, "Oh, I think I'll work in art."
Right.
I went to school for art, but she only went to school for like what, a year and a half.
Right. She's gonna have to find an entry. I think that's what they said. She'll have to find an entry level position.
I can't wait until Reva comes back as a ghostly figure. I want to know how she is as a ghostly figure.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for another edition of Guiding Light. We'll be back hopefully soon with more. As always, you can find us on all the socials at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, have a great day. Bye.
Bye.